I'm Mark Brown. I'm reporting from the second day of the International Forum on Quality and Safety in Healthcare from London's cavernous and now more quiet Excel Centre. And I'm here with...
Esther Greaney. Am I holding the mic?
No.
Sorry. I'm a peer support worker in Shropshire Eating Disorder Services, and I'm also a change rebel.
And I'm Helen Bevan, and I work in the National Health Service in England as part of the Horizons team, and I'm a professor at Warwick Business School, and I'm also a change rebel.
Crikey.
And my name is Göran Henriks, and I'm coming from Sweden and the region named Jönköping. And I'm a change rebel right now, but otherwise I'm a father to 3 children.
Excellent. So I know that all of you have been behind the kind of putting together of the change stream at this conference here in London this year. Like, it feels kind of quite obvious that change is part of quality improvement, change is part of healthcare, either positively or negatively, but still I think some people are kind of quite scared about change. Is there anything to be afraid of about change from your perspectives?
Shall I start?
Yeah.
So what I'd say is we shouldn't be afraid of change, but what people are afraid of typically isn't change per se, because we all want change, we all want to make things better. I think what people are afraid of are the really crappy ways that we go about pushing change on people. And when we do change effectively, when we focus on the shared purpose, the things that we all want, we focus on the difference that we can make, in people's life through health and care. And when we feel we're part of the change, it's being done with us and by us and not to us, then generally we're not scared. But I think that very often change isn't done in a way that is good for people, actually.
Yeah, I would probably agree, and I think one of the most important things for anything changing is open communication and just talking to each other and making sure that everyone's on the same page, or at least knows where everyone else is, and then you can work together, can't you, to change things. And also you have to make mistakes to get something right, so don't be scared to try and make a few mistakes and find something that didn't work, because eventually you'll find something that does work.
Change are quite often connected with losing control, and I think that's one of the biggest issues. But for me, change is fun. If you are in charge of your own change, or if you are together with people that can help you or show you that there are other ways to do things. So change is something that should give positive feelings and reactions.
So one of the kind of subheadings of this conference is regenerating health together. And I wondered, from the point of view of the stuff that you've put together, what you feel it is that we're regenerating and what it is we're bringing together, because there's a sense that maybe some things have happened over the last 5, 10, 15, 100, 200 years that means that something needs to grow or be knitted together or brought together that's kind of having some challenges at the moment. Is that something you kind of can feel and see?
I think that we have a little sign here, or what we call it.
A little badge.
A badge.
Yeah.
That talks about David Bowie's song Heroes, and in that song he talks about that change belongs to those people that can hear it. Yeah. And I think that what we try to help people with is to get bigger ears and of course bigger eyes, so they can be part of the change and not feel that it's coming on them. So change is something we do and not others.
I would just echo what Helen and Göran have said. I mean, I'm quite new to it in general, because I've only been in my role for just over a year, but I'm a peer support worker, which is an explicitly lived experience role. So the fact that the role exists shows that something did change somewhere and continues to do so, because we're working on co-production and involving lived experience in services and making sure that those voices are heard equally alongside everyone else that's involved. So yeah, I'm a bit of a newbie to it, but very passionate, and I've seen great things while I've been here, and it's my first time at the conference anyway. So
Amazing.
And you know what I'd say, Esther, about you as well, is that you bring fresh eyes. You know, you've got such a different kind of perspective,
Yeah.
and that's a very precious thing, you know, for us that you do that. You know, if I was going to say something about change, kind of building on what we've said, like when you look at where we are at the moment, you know, with our with health, okay, and health and care, like things are going. A lot of things are going really badly wrong, in the sense that, you know, we one of the big themes at this forum has been about health equity, and we see like really big unjustified differences in people's quality of life and health outcomes. And you know, we see like in the National Health Service in England, you know, there's 1 million people waiting for orthopaedic appointments, you know, people not being able to see their GPs, and in a sense not having a system that's geared up to support people in their health, but is a system that treats people when they're ill. So things really have got to change. Okay, like in a sense we can't carry on like we are. And so much of the kind of change approaches, change methodologies are that we typically use are incremental approaches. And an incremental change is good, and we need it. But in a sense, when we look at where we are now, and if we're really truly going to support our population in their health into the future, we won't get there by lots of small incremental changes. We need large scale change. We need change that is this disruptive, you know. We need change where we rather than just taking things as they are at the moment and doing a bit more of this or a bit less of that, like we need to create a different world of health and different world of health and care, and we'll only do that if we can find new and additional ways of doing change that are bigger and bolder, and they build on all the strengths that we've got. And our change stream here at the forum has been about that. You know, how do we enable big change to happen, large-scale change, alongside the really important incremental change? And that's what, you know, in a sense, we have been having an inquiry this week as part of the change stream. Like, you know, what do we need to do to get from where we are now to where, our population needs us to be in the future? You know, what are some of the steps and methods and approaches and ways of working that we need for the big change that our systems need? And you know, there's people here from so many different countries, like we've been having some fantastic conversations in the change stream, and you know, what we see is, yeah, we're from different places, we have different roles, our systems are different, but you know, the challenges are exactly the same. And I think that many of the methods and approaches and the ways of working that we need for change in the future are the same for everywhere. And I think we have to adapt them for our different contexts, but I think the principles are the same. So we have a group here called the Change Rebels, and you know, we're all change rebels, and there's a growing band of change rebels here who are people here at the forum who also, you know, think that we need to be bigger and bolder and more systemic in our change practice, and it's been really exciting, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's fantastic. And I think that connected to this is also a view that you can make your work to a school. So if you give space for people to harvest things from outside, they are also ready to do the changes. But if we lock people in and they never get the chance to see that others are doing things differently, we will never get the climate or a culture for change.
I was going to ask that. So it seems really generative, and it seems really, really warm that you found each other and other people at this conference. What would you say to someone who felt like a more lonely voice, who felt kind of excluded, on the outside of conversations, either in their organisation, in their community, in their family, who kind of recognise that we do need to make this kind of, these big changes to how we regard health and care across the world and stuff. Like, what would you say to those people who are just like, God, I wish I had someone to talk to about this stuff?
When you start, Esther.
Yeah, I think the only thing I could think of is that you just have to find your people.
Exactly right.
And you have to just speak your mind and be open. And then sometimes your people will just come to you. Like-minded people often find each other, and we flock together, don't we, and share our ideas and make these changes and make things happen.
Yeah. And we've seen that this week with the with the lived experience and communities panel, and the members coming together, and individually you're all pretty impressive, but together, the power that comes, like you say, from being together and finding your people makes such a difference, and we all need to do that. And one thing I'd say is we can only make change happen if we have the power to make change, and lots of people haven't got senior jobs in a hierarchy or haven't got formal authority, and they think, well, I can't do anything. I'm just somebody that uses a service, or I'm just a trainee, or I'm just a student. But all of us have got the power to change, and the way that we build the power is exactly like Esther says, in the sense that we have to find other people. And the more that we can find and work through and with other people that want the same things that we want, the more power we build. And so many people who are passionate about improvement and passionate about change, think, I can't make things happen. But we can, all of us can, by finding the other people that want the same things that we want, and we can do really small scale change to start with, and that's fine. But if you look at the whole history of change, it's always like that. Okay, change, doesn't start at the top of organisations, and neither is it bottom up. Actually, what we see time and time again, that change is a side-by-side process. We find other people that we connect with. And who are the people that change the world? They're small groups of people, loosely connected with a shared value and shared purpose. And, it's not hard to get that going.
I think that what Helen also talks about is that belonging, and that you belong to something, are a key factor or key component. And your question about people that feels that they are outside or are lonely, then they need to come to a community or a leadership that show that everybody belongs.
Yeah, it's a wonderful point to end on. I'm not going to keep you here. I need you to go out and find your people, go and do good work with them.
Change rebels.
Yes, collect change rebels.
Yes,
That's
collecting them.
Yeah.
Excellent, thank you all.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Thank you.